Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings to everyone. This is the icon. First, giving praise and thanks to the Most High for life and for being here this morning. Thank Him, Most High or Truth, for the presence of mind that I'm this morning. I am here, the icon, this morning at 9:38 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, um, coming through to talk about, uh, uh, as I always talk about, the social constructs, how it affects our lives in the positive and negative perspectives. So I'm going to be talking a little bit this morning about friendship, support, emotions. I'm going to be talking a little bit about, you know, how to properly assess one's own mental state and how that can affect those outside of us if we're not in the right frame of mind or don't have the right attitude towards the things that we perceive. Sometimes in our perceptions of truth or the facts before us, when trying to analyze the facts before us, we have to decipher whether we're looking at something that has been mixed with falsehood or mixed with ideas that can be misleading or mixed with ideas coming from a selfish position, or if they're coming from a selfless position or a positive position. It still requires us to do reflection, examination, and analyzation, and in some cases, re-examination and re-analyzation, because we want to try to do all that we can to make sure that as we're looking at things, as we're pondering things, as we're researching things, as we're gathering information in perspective of our lives and what we feel, or the things we feel, how you want to be kind of careful that you don't make the mistake. Like oftentimes I've made mistakes and having a feeling about something, and I have to go back and check my attitude and to see if my attitude towards a particular thing is going to cover up or dross or make dirty my perception of what I'm seeing. Am I being selfish in some type of way because of my attitude or something like that? So that's why I'm here this morning. First and foremost, how is everybody, to those that may come into the room and to those that I'm going to share this broadcast with when I'm done. Um, Again, I am here. I am the icon. You can find me here on YouTube at the Icon World 6. Okay. Look me up. You can go and check out my work here. You can also find me on www.theicon6.com. That's T as in Tom, THEICON, the number 6.com. Also, you can find me up under the parent company with Salty Coffee at www.saltycoffeepodcast.com, where you can find the work that we do, that she does, the things that we've been able to accumulate in conversations about the constructs, about personal things, about our experiences, how we deal with other people, how we are affected by other people, and how we affect other people. Because a lot of the times, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about the self when it comes to taking ownership, meaning taking responsibility and holding oneself accountable. And I always start with me, because that's where everything, in my opinion, starts with the individual. I have to self-check me. I have to check my thoughts. I have to check things that I've done, and I have to run them through the placenta, right, of truth, that I can figure out or come to a conclusion whether or not up under these social constructs, am I moving from the negative part of this programming, or have I found a connect to truth to see the positive programming, and can I exemplify the positive instead of the negative? A lot of the times we can be confused because of how we bring things to the table. I know one thing about me: I do not come with ill intent towards anybody. I'm not here to put myself in a position where I know more than anybody, because I'm just like any other person that's living. None of us know everything. We know what we know through study or through our sacrifices or our experiences and the way we perceive the world, and that's how we approach each other. And what I've come to know and understand is that most of the time when we come to each other, regardless of what we know or think we know, we come in broken because in our past experiences, when we talk to each other and when we're being open and honest, there's a lot of broken people. There's a lot of emotional trauma. There's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of skeletons in the closet. And those things tend to make people uh, not act in a way that they can be forthcoming and be true. I've been in that position, and that's why I talk about it a lot, because I'm not afraid to say that I've been the hypocrite, I've been the liar, I've been the misleader, I've been the manipulator. But when truth enters into your life and you tap into your humanity and you realize what happened to you, if you have any good sense, and I would like to think that I do have good sense, because I know my mother gave birth to a son, and that she's seen greatness in, and there is greatness in me, just as there's greatness in you, and all of you. But it has been covered up in many cases, because some people out here, they pretty much got it. They are aware and understand what's going on in this world, and they move accordingly. And then there are those out here that think that we know what we know, but at the end of the day, it's from a selfish position, right? And we tend to view people or judge people or critique people based off of some emotion that we have. I've been in that position when you want things to go your way. It's your way or the highway. But when you are humbled, as I was humbled when I done those 28 plus years in federal prison, it definitely was a humbling experience for me. It was an eye opener for me. It allowed me to see the things that I had done in the way of hurting people, victimizing people through my criminal activities, how it affected my family, how it affected people in the community, in society. And I had to deal with those things. I had 28 long years plus to deal with me. I had to step and look at that man in the mirror. And I couldn't hold nobody responsible. Though at one time it was everybody's fault but mine. I didn't hold myself accountable. I held everybody else accountable. But when I learned that at the end of the day, irregardless to what we're presented with, we have the last say so. We have the last decision as to what we're going to do. And when you are in that position, you can only be true to yourself, and you should be true to yourself. Um, as in case in point, if someone comes to me and presents themselves a certain type of way, you really don't know if the person is just talking, to be talking, because you don't really know what the aim and objective really is. So we have to have a measure of trust, but still move with caution. I strongly believe in this philosophy in life, right? When you understand time, okay, time reveals all, and that it requires a certain amount of patience to let things unfold before you move on your assumptions, move on your speculations or suspicions, because we are suspicious sometimes. Sometimes we hear things, and because of how we have been traumatized in life, as soon as something appear to trigger or give a reflection of something that affected us in our past, we instantly become suspicious. We instantly start making assumptions, and we instantly start moving with an attitude where we're shutting down a person or a thing that could be designed to help us understand or bring clarity or lead us to something that could open up our minds to truth that it can come in. But in most cases, those suspicions, those assumptions, we move on them so fast that we tend to move sometimes and find out later that we made mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, a lot of them. I talk about these things again. I hold myself accountable for them. I take responsibility for them, and I put the onus squarely on me. I put everything on my back and say, "Hey, how did you contribute to this? Um, how did you become a part of a problem. And when I say a problem, meaning when there is no peace, when there is chaos, when there are people going through all these dramatic emotional rants and things of that nature, and when you're sitting back and you're like, I'm I'm coming with good intentions, and I'm giving that person or people the benefit of the doubt that you're coming with the same energy, you're coming with the same aura about yourself, because that's what draw us to each other, the things that we say out of our mouth, right? So as I move forward on that precept, and from my perception, again, my perception is just a perception. My perception is not the perception, but a perception. Let me put it that way. Just as any other person that I would talk to, because I hear people always talking about my truth, your truth. At the end of the day, it's the truth, the definite article, the, right? And we all are viewing the truth sometimes. And some of us may not have the clarity of mind to understand when a falsehood is wrapped around the truth, or how someone can take facts or take truth and mix it with lies, right? So we get captured that way. Thus, the constructs, the social constructs, the ideals that come from the minds of men that set up systems, right? Systems that have mission statements. And you're going to hear me say this a lot, because I do look at the United States of America as a corporation. It has all the trimmings and all the things, of a corporation. Even when you go to the Constitution itself, it gives you the parameter of how this construct is to be viewed, how it is supposed to be followed and understood, what laws are in place to protect the people, right? But we also know that everyone wasn't looked at in the same with the same equity, on equal footing. So everybody doesn't get to enjoy the Constitution in full, to where amendments had to come back and make amendments to the Constitution, because there was certain things going on that was affecting people, whole nations of people. You understand me? That was not from a positive aspect, where it was detrimental to some people, it was debasing to some people, and it was a straight cutoff from knowledge and culture and what they had knew and perceived, because they were made into something else, right? Um, and so when I think about these things from that perspective, I'm sometimes I'm very happy when I can see people get it as far as I understand, because some people are going to get some things that I'm not going to get. They're going to understand some things that I may not understand at that moment, or may not ever understand. But I'm going to always try my best to try to understand, by at least allowing myself the time to let the truth unfold and reveal things to me, so that understanding can come ashore. And as the script would say, patience is a virtue. I've been asked many a times to be patient. Ron, would you be patient with me? Icon, would you be patient? Give me time. And you have to give people time, because I want time to, because I want people to truly understand me. And that's why I open up my life and I let people come in, right? I don't hold off. I don't try to take my negatives or my flaws or my weaknesses and hide them. I express them, because I did learn something else while I was in that prison: to express yourself, irregardless of what the outcome is going to be. People come and go, right? You get involved with organizations, you may be there for a while, you may leave. You may go there, it may be exactly the right fit for you, you may stay, so you can exercise whatever Most High has deposited within you, as far as your intellect, and as far as how you receive information and knowledge and understand it and then apply it. So I'm fully aware that as I meet people, because I study myself, I'm aware of what construct does to us. And I'm aware that in the work that I do, I'm going to have people approach me all the time from different angles. Some going to be for me when they hear me talk. Some going to be just curious to want to know, how did you come to this thought process? Some going to come in and going to want to possess me, or think they can control me. And some going to come in just on virtue, because, they may need the energy that I bring to give them strength. And I look in terms as the same thing. I have to look when people allow me to come into their space. They have to do the same things I do. Is he here because he's here to use? Is he here because he's authentic and genuine? Is he here um, um, because he wants to take advantage of opportunity? Or maybe he just here to just be who he is and be actually a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. But these are the things that we face. These are the things that we have to search out. I do these things. One of the things that I am really focused on and true to, I'm gonna let people be who they are. I can sit back and speculate and assume the worst, but I'm gonna let time reveal who they are. I'm gonna let time cause things to unfold. That way, I'm giving the person the proper benefit of the doubt. Because if you're acting as somebody that you're not, time will reveal that. Because one thing that I know for certain, you can only act for so long, right? And there's really not a need to be actors. We have Hollywood for that. You know, I don't want to be an actor. I was an actor at one time, and I still fight the constructs daily. I fight those ideals that are and those influences that are meant to keep me relegated and meant to keep me an insignificant player in the greater schemes of things. But no, I've decided, and I decided a long time ago, I don't want to remain in that state of mind. I can do something different. And from the time I stepped out of prison, right, after accumulating the type of knowledge that I did and being exposed to the type of information I was exposed to, and really being remorseful for the things that I had done and stopping blaming people and making excuses about this, that, that, and the other, I said, because I have been authorized through my experiences to just be what I am, right? That's what I'm gonna push. That's what I'm gonna come out here and do with my talents, with my gifts. I'm not gonna hide them up under a rock. I'm not gonna be afraid to speak truth to power. I'm not gonna be afraid to challenge the constructs in our people, because I know behind the construct, the real person is there. These fears that we have, these nightmares that we have, and sometimes that we place on others because others don't participate in the way that we want them to participate. And I'm talking about all of us. I'm not excluding myself from any of this here. I think that that's a dangerous game to play, especially if it makes you do something that you know you don't want to do and make you say things that you really don't mean. That's where we find ourselves getting in trouble, when we say things that we don't really mean. For whatever reason you may do that, I look at that as the construct. I know that people will lie for different reasons, and people will do things, and it's not always they're doing it because they have bad intentions. They do it because they see it as a form of protection or protecting themselves. I don't want to give my real self because I got to see what this person all about. I know exactly what that is because I'm a person that used to be like that there, you know, and to some degrees I'm still like that because I like to get to know people. You know, I don't get up close and personal and just be chummy with people just because, you know, it has to be a mathematical reason for that. I know we out here and we at war because psychological war has been played on us and still being played on us. And there is a fight for the control of the minds of the people. I know this because I know some of the things that I looked at in my life that I done. If I was in my right mind, if I knew the truth, if I was in touch with my humanity to the degree I should have been, there was no way that I could have offended women. I could have offended another brother, another man, a person that's up under another construct called title, well, regardless of what their nationality was. I would have stood on the principles and the morals of truth and live and let live. Do not defend unless being attacked. But because I wasn't fully aware of the parameters of that, of course, those things that influenced me in the world that I got caught up in, a character had to be built. You can't be soft. You got to be this. You got to be on top of this. You can't trust. You can't. And that's the way I live my life. Never really committing to anything outside of what I wanted. And I had to learn that other people have wants to, they have needs to. And the first thing I need to do is understand what the needs are. What do we need as people? And these are the things that started helping me to build the foundation as far as the way I was going to move forward and think. And I was very thankful for the organizations that I came into contact with while I was in prison and the people I began to meet, the journeys I began to take in the mental and the spiritual through books and through study, because I love education. I always loved education. I might not have understood it, but I was always a radical thinker at the same time. I just don't take things on face value all the time. You know, sometimes even when I was younger and didn't have the form of consciousness that I have, I always looked at stuff and say, something ain't right with that picture. Something's off. And because I was able to do that, it made me question things. Now, I will be honest, some of my questioning may not have come from the best place, but still I question things because I felt like, you know, a person can get over on you if you don't know what you're listening to and what you're looking at. So that had to be fine-tuned to me to know what to listen for and what to look for. And it's not that I'm trying to be judgmental. I just want to be aware of these constructs that cause us to be other than ourselves and do detrimental things to each other and cause these division and disunity. When at the end of the day, if we were unified on the principle of truth, if we were open-minded enough to assess problems that we have in our personal lives or in our home life or in our communities, in the nation and around the world, that we could humble ourselves and come and have conversations and dialogues and articulate what these problems are and come up with real solutions or take the solutions that are already presented on the table to help us move forward in a peaceful way, in a positive way. And then when one can't honor those things and would want to be the one that's the knucklehead and want to be the one that force negativity on you, then prepare yourself with all due diligence, with truth and standing on truth. Be ready for whatever come with that, because we know, just as we have psychological war, these psychological wars and those that control and puppet the mind, they can put us in positions where we have physical altercations of what we call war, when there's the actual loss of life. And that's one of the things that I hate to see when it comes to human beings, the amount of life that is lost because of falsehood, because of lies, because of negative programming, because of constructs that have been set up and systems that have been made that push these agendas. When you know you're not trying to connect people to truth, you need them to be asleep. You need them to be ignorant to push your agenda. So if we're not out here trying to wake each other up by challenging that construct, those negative aspects of programming, then we're doing a disservice to ourselves. I refuse to be one of those people. I'm here to challenge. I'm here to be challenged, not for the sake of challenge because you're an enemy, because I want to know the truth. I want to know more of it. I want to have a better quality of mind so I can have a better quality of life. I desire that. Now, everybody might not desire that. I don't want to move as the selfish person I used to be. I want to become more selfless, meaning giving more of what I was given in the way of talent and gifts and through my experiences, the information that leads me to want to see another person happy, or to see another person not suffering from poverty or being hungry, or seeing people around our world that's actually starving and dying because of policies by people in high places just out here acting as their God or the Most High. I don't think that that's right. I don't think that that's fair. But irregardless of whether I think that is right or it's fair, it's happening. And it's happening in real time. And it's been happening for a long time. So I try to come to the platforms and I try to talk about the things that I've experienced, the whatever contribution that I can make, whatever friendships that I can make along the way, bonds that I can make along the way with individuals that have like minds. And again, we have to search each other out. One of the words that I wanted to deal with today was friendship. You know, I've talked about this word, just like relationships. I talked about that particular word, that construct, and what comes with that by a form of definition. I speak English. I speak a little Spanish, not enough to just be going into dialogues with people, but because there are different languages, when people come to you that don't speak the language that you speak, there may be a difference in interpretations of some things. That causes confusion a lot of times. And sometimes the confusion is not even warranted because you could be talking about the same thing, but because you are not privy to the culture, you're not privy to the language, you can think somebody's actually trying to do you some harm. When in fact they just like we are. They want to move through life and be able to have the basic necessities that they are by right they supposed to have. But when people can understand how to set division amongst us, then they can rule us. So when I think about a friend, you know, outside of the definition that was given, but using the definition that was given to us about a friend, it could be a platonic, what they call a platonic friend, meaning someone that you have a connection with, someone that you've built a bond with, that you have similar things in common. That type of person that comes into your life and be a measure of support, whether that's moral support or whether that's material support, whatever the case may be. But that person does not intend you any harm. Okay. A friend, somebody that will stand in the trenches with you, stand in the gaps with you when times are good, when times are bad, or when it gets downright ugly. A friend, someone who's not out to use and abuse you. A friend, someone that's going to tell you the truth and tell you what you need to hear as opposed to what you want to hear. A friend, because we can accumulate a lot of people around us based off what we have or what people think we have and use those things to control people. When you move like that and people see that you have some type of talent or some type of gift and you can get places that they can't get, or they amass wealth, and that person that's coming in and saying that they're a friend when they only there to take, right? That's not a friend. Those kind of people gonna tell you what you want to hear, because they have an ulterior motive. They have something to gain. A true friend is going to tell you what you need to hear. And if you cut off a true friend, then you cut off someone indeed that was there to help you. So I had to start reassessing what that word friend meant. And was I being a true friend to people? And in most cases, before my elevation into the form of consciousness that I'm in, and I'm still growing and I'm still learning, I'm going to be on this journey for knowledge to the day that I die, right? There are many cases when I was in my lower self, in my animal self, I was not a good friend. I was not, irregardless of how I want to paint the picture, because I know a lot of the times the people that I call friends, I was loyal to a fault. So I thought I was doing a great thing. You know, if you need me, I'm there. Would literally give you the shirt off my back, trying to justify in my mind when I start contemplating these things. Oh, look how good I was to them. No, if I was involved in criminality, if I was involved in anything that could take you away from your family or get you hurt, where you lost your life or anything, putting you in situations because I'm doing dirty things to people and I'm not telling y'all what that was, but knowing that y'all view me as a friend, that y'all will come to my aid and assistance, I'm putting you in danger, putting your family in danger, that is not a friend. A friend wouldn't do that. A friend would tell you, hey, what you're doing is going to get you hurt. It's going to get your family hurt. It's going to make you lose whatever things you have accomplished, hopefully from a positive position. A friend is going to tell you that. A friend, because he don't want or she don't want to see you get hurt. A real friend is going to do that. A friend that's not a friend, they will use things to control. Or a friend that is not a friend will come in based off what they can get and be a yes man or a yes woman. Yes, 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 yes. As long as they're getting something from you. So I had to learn how to identify first whether I was being a good friend. And that's why I'm inspired when I meet people. I'm not coming with false friendship. I'm coming with authentic friendship. Because I don't want to see people end up in prison. I don't want to see people end up dead. I don't want to see people getting hurt because of a lack of knowledge through construct, which is a form of ignorance, because they don't know that when something is said or something is done, they rely on the construct, not knowing that the construct from that negative position is actually what's hurting you. So I'm going to try to reveal that. Now, when you've done what you can do, or you try to open up the parameters to do that for somebody and they still reject you, there's nothing you pretty much can do with that, because the messenger sometimes is the one that takes the brunt and takes the hit, and oftentimes get murdered or get killed or assassinated in their character just for trying to do the right thing and extend information that could help somebody, because that's the true friend. The construct from the negative programming aspect will make you look at something that's good for you as a bad thing. And that's what's happening in our world today. Those wise, wicked people have made right wrong and has made wrong right. Now, some people say, well, how can you say that? People know what they're looking at. People know what they feel. People know, yes, you do feel things. You know that you're feeling something, but you may not necessarily know the origin of where these things that's happening to you come from. How many people can say that they honestly sit down and do research of history when you've been programmed to be in Walt Disney World and be in the Wizard of Oz and be in places where there's a whole bunch of activity that we get involved with that's not leading to things of substance, but we there just to have a good time, because we've been born into a world that teaches us it's all about fun. That's why we teach our children fun, fun, fun. And when they become get to the age where it's time to face the real world, they can't, because there's a disconnect from the reality and the truth, because we never gave it to them. And in most cases, it was never given to us. That's how people in power maintain power. Because if you don't know and they know, and they got access to the very things that you need. Again, I said this in one of the other broadcasts. We got a whole earth here that produces an abundance of resources for us to aid and assist us in every way, whether it's food, whether it's the air that we breathe, whether it's the material that we can take from the earth for shelter or use the earth for shelter. Whatever the case may be, we have it. It's here. But how do we get to a place where people can control the natural resources and cut other people off from it? I mean, just thinking about that in and of itself, who gives people the authority to just take the earth that's here for everybody and then package it in a way, come up with a system called money, which is an idea, right, that has been innovated and changed and whatnot, that it's not real, but it's a medium of exchange to do what? Get the real thing, which is produced from the earth, which grows from the earth, which is taken from the earth. How do one get there? Is that a friend? Would a friend take something that was meant for everybody, that can nurture everybody, that can give people equal opportunity to go to it and nurture themselves, that someone would come up with an idea that I'm going to own this here. I'm going to devise a plan on how I can manipulate and trick people and build me a force or an army or people that's ready to die, because I brainwashed them that much that into this idea that I have. I don't even think we understand how diabolical a mind like that is. That's not a friend. So we live in a world that is not upon the construct that was devised by people that has never been a friend to humanity. Because the moment that thought entered into the mind and the moment those things start being put into action, it caused a separation and a downfall in humanity. We can't own the earth. We didn't bring it here, and we can't take it with us. I say this time and time again, and I'm going to keep reiterating it, because I think some people don't understand. We make this complicated when it's really not complicated. The only reason it seems complicated because you're blocked by the construct, what you've been taught, what you've been influenced by. We all have been in that situation, and most of us are. I just told you, I try to fight construct every day, that negative programming that makes me do things detrimental to myself and to others. If you want to be a true friend, a friend to somebody, if you're going to want to support them in the right type of way, you have to know these things. You're going to have to really, really fight hard. And in some cases, people don't want to fight. Even the ones that you can talk to and they can see it, but still refuse to make the adjustments, but will hold on to the negative programming through the construct in these systems and just ignore it. Now, I would say this here, you have every right to do that. However you want to set your mind up, whatever it is you want for your life, you have the right to do that. But just know consequences come with that. Because when you're not in tune with truth, when you're moving opposite the truth, when you're in rebellion to the truth, and then you try to pass that on somebody else, there's a retribution coming for that. Because falsehood cannot stand and win, even if it appears that it has won. No, it's not. The truth must prevail. And when the truth comes knocking, it demands a response, a proper reply. You're gonna respond in the affirmative as the truth dictates and show us what it is, or you're gonna go against it. I've seen many people fall because of rebelling the truth, and I'm one of them. I failed because of rebellion. I failed because I listened to those that cared about me, like really cared about me. I ain't talking about here for a day, here for a season, that sacrifice real things for me. Because that's what they seen in me. You have people in your life that really cared about you to that level. But because we think that we grown through construct and negative programming and the things that influence us and how we get caught up into stuff and then go to thinking we know everything, I'm going to do what I want to do. We get to that type of mind thinking. I was there. I'm going to give everybody else a chance to put the onus on them. I'm telling you about me. I can take a lot of criticism, constructive and or otherwise. Any man or woman that come down the line, to do good work have been criticized, and not from a constructive position, have been murdered, not because they was trying to take off from the people, but because they was really trying to open up the eyes of the people, because they were seeing what was happening in real time. When they tell you history repeats itself, that's a true statement. History will continue to repeat itself if we don't learn from it. So if the history has been negative, right? You think it's gonna change just because? If an idea set it into motion, it's gonna take an idea to stop it. But if you don't even want to have the gall or have the strength to challenge things that you see that ain't right, then who really are you? And we have a lot of people that come across these airwaves that put themselves in positions as life coaches and ministers, activists, advocates. Who the hell are you? Who am I? Who am I? And what's really shameful about this whole thing, you know how many times I've been told that I'm a manipulator? When I was a manipulator, I can take that. When I'm not manipulating, you're not going to put something on me that I'm not doing. I would challenge that. I'm going to challenge that construct. But you live in a world that was created that was totally against you. And some of us can see that it's totally against us. You'll kill me. You'll kick me to the curb. You'll lie on my character. You'll do all of these things. But you won't do a damn thing to separate yourself from the very constructs and the ideas that have abased you, subjected you to all kinds of turmoil. These are the things that we do to one another. And it's a shame. It's a downright shame. Some people not going to have the courage to challenge this. Some people not going to have the courage to speak truth to power. That's just the way that it is. I don't expect nothing more or less from that. I know construct has total control of your mind. And if that's where you want to be, fine. But the icon don't want to be there. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the most courageous person in the world, though I've done some courageous things. A lot of times, having to overcome tremendous amounts of fear. The life I lived was not an easy life. There was a lot of violence in my life, a lot of corruption in my life. There are many times where my life could have been taken very easily, and to have a mentality back then where I thought that was having fun. Delusional. I was. No sense. And I wasn't always like that. But I became that. Why? Because those things were readily available for me to get into. It was there for me to get into. Again, all of my friends didn't do the things that I did. They didn't walk the path that I walked. Many of them kept it going. They sacrificed. They stayed in school. I got kicked out of school. I was so upset with so many different people in my life because I didn't like my life. Like, why am I here and I don't have a father in my life? Shout out to my dad and my stepdad, W.D. Johnson, and my biological father, Albert Smith. I was upset about a lot of things. I was upset why my mom, at some point, I thought my mother abandoned us, which she didn't. She understood where she was at, and may her soul forever rest in peace as she covered me right now. Because she's not gone. She lives. Her energy is always present. Just as those who fathered me and mothered me throughout my young life that was trying to give it to me, those spirits, those energies, they stay with me. I consult with them daily. I have to, because my mind is open to receive instruction that I rebelled against in my youth. As a 50-year-old man, I can't live like I'm 16 and 17. I can't hold on to the baggage of yesterday, because that will stunt my growth. That will restrict my movement. And because the Most High has given me much is required of me. I don't play when it comes to this. I don't play with these conversations. I don't play with people's lives. I'm here as a friend, a real supporter. I'm willing to put my life on the line for that. That's my character. I went through a lot of hellfire to be purified to this extent. And I'm still going through the fire and still being purified and still learning more about what it takes to be culturally refined, so that I can be what they call, which is another construct, a civilized human being. Meaning that I'm not living like that beast of the field who do what they do by instinct, because that's the way that they were created. So they live the lives that they was intended to live until man come in and try to domesticate these animals. They in their natural form. So when we want to talk about friendship, we want to talk about advocacy, we want to talk about our activism, we want to talk about how we want to be life coaches and ministers and preachers and leaders and teachers. No, we're looking at the condition of the world, and I got a problem. We're not doing our job. We're not doing our job. And that leads me to say, who really are my friends? I'm willing to be a real friend. I'm willing to be a true advocate. I'm willing to get down to the grassroots of things and have the conversations, the hard conversations, the uneasy conversations. Because I know it takes solutions. I know we didn't get in this position last night. This thing happened long time ago. It was orchestrated long time ago. Look at the long-lasting effects of it. Look at humanity, how low it has gone. Turn on your social media channels and look at us. I have to self-check myself every day. Ron, are you a part of this madness? And sometimes I find myself sliding. I have to go into deep meditation. No, don't do that, because it's so easy to get into this trouble through negative programming. Mama told us a long time ago, trouble is easy to get in, but it's hard to get out of. But do most of us listen? No, we don't. There's something that drives us. I want to introduce you to what that something is that drives you to go against sound advice. I've had school teachers that seen things in me that I couldn't see in myself, and they wanted good for me. They were being a friend to me. But because I couldn't understand, because I couldn't relate, I rebelled. I went the other way. I ran from safety. I ran from refuge and ran right into the arms of a construct that was made, and a system that came up out of these ideas that was made to entrap me and enslave me. I ran from life to death. Now, I'm still here in the present, in this physical body. So the universe worked in my favor. And for that, I have deep gratitude. Because statistically, I don't supposed to be here. And there are many men and women, my friends, that left here young. And you know people that have left here young in your family, from your friends, from your community. We watch this happen on a daily basis. What is it going to take to wake us up? What is it going to take to wake us up? That's why I use my voice. I'm going to be the quintessential friend. I'm going to be the one that's going to challenge you. And if you can't stand the challenge, you will find a way to get the hell away from me. I know you will. We always running from the truth. That's the way the design of that programming was meant to be. I'm just telling you what it is. We have many scholarly brothers and sisters out here that can go into the whole concepts of what happened over in what we call Egypt or Africa, that can break down the Sanskrit and the writings on the wall and can connect us to certain things. And I say that's fine and good, because we need that, because there are a lot of truths that we can discover that comes through research. So I always salute those that go on the journey to try to find things, but then I have to sit back and say, let me see how they're going to utilize the information. Because I have to make a determination on whether I can lend my ear to that. Or can I go in, even if I see something that may be a little strange? I'm not perfect. My perception ain't always going to be the best perception, but I still would give it an opportunity just to go in and peep. If I can see just a little bit that is being said and being utilized in a way that can wake us up, I will loan my mind to that. I can learn something from that. I'm not afraid to learn. I know everything that I say, it ain't edged in stone. A lot of stuff I say can be challenged, but you better know what you're doing when you come to challenge it. That's all I can tell you. I don't have no scholarship from no university anywhere. My scholarship comes from the universe. It's called experience. I've been in the theaters of these institutions called school. I went to preschool. Hell, I got put in preschool. Salty Coffee was just talking about this last night about the box. We was talking about the show that we have called Outside the Box on Sundays that we air on stereo and live stream on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. We're born inside of a box. We come into this world already being controlled the moment the birth certificate is signed and the social security number is assigned to us. We become wards of the state, meaning that we're subjects to the power or the corporate structure upon the capitalism. And some of our family members are going through the same thing somewhere else upon a socialism or communism. It's all relevant. At the end of the day, we have to control the masses of the people to do what? Make sure the idea or the concept that we have for the world that we want can live and thrive. And you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. There's going to be some people that hear this broadcast, they're going to say, oh, wait a minute. He talking that talk. Is he a threat? Potentially, he could be. I don't have no weapons of mass destruction. I ain't a part of no organization that out here terrorizing people. I'm just a man, a brother, a human being that's looking at life, that's looking at my life and looking at all the destructive things that happen in my life, the things I've witnessed, the things I've experienced. And I'm saying, hey, that's not good. It's not good for me. And it wasn't good when I was doing other things to people. How do you alter that and change that so that you can have a new reality? You have to understand the precepts and the concepts of a social construct that came out of the minds of men that established systems all over the world that have debased and subjected people, brainwashed them. Come on. Indoctrination coming through your institutions of learning. Religion, an institution that's being used as a tool to confuse people and control people. We say God is not the author of confusion, but we live in a world that's confused. Who really running the world? I know God is a construct, it's a word, but is truth really from the natural order running things? Or have we come up on the system that someone found how to manipulate the truth? I would say the latter. Somebody devised a hell of a plan, and they plan worked. It still works. And any man and woman that will come to expose it, we find ourselves, we get in trouble. Hell, they might kick me off our social platform. I'm still gonna go work. I meet people every day. I'm out here in the real world. I don't live in the suburbs. I stay in a place called Justina in Jacksonville. They told me it was a rough play. I come from a rough play, Fort Pierce, Florida. Born and raised there, St. Lucie County. An hour and 30 minutes north of Miami. That whole area, Gifford, Vero Beach, Florida, Walbassa, Okeechobee, Martin County. Yeah. I got family in Port Solano. My granddad, he was there. Willie Lee Smith. I met him one time in my life, but I got family there. Uncle Jimmy and Jerry, Aunt Kat, Aunt Marilyn. I've never even met their children. So I got family from here, Georgia, all over. We all connected in that kind of way. But we so separated because of ideas, traditions, and rituals. I don't care if you want to hold on to a tradition that you may find something that's positive in. You got every right to do that. I'm not going to sit here and criticize and judge you because you want to hold on to a tradition. No, I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to say, when those traditions and rituals cause us to be separated from each other on baseless information, that's where the problem going to come in for me. And I'm going to challenge that construct. If you intend to be in my life, because if I intend to be in your life, I know I have a responsibility and a duty to do what I can. I can't just say I've done my best, because there's always room for improvement. You can do more. But you don't give in to the constructs, because the people, again, that devised this, they did it with them in mind. They did it with their progeny in mind. I understand those that have this whole philosophy of, well, if you can't beat them, join them. We got a lot of people joining on to those that have this mentality. Those that are the holders and the maintainers of the construct, meaning the progeny, those who have been that inherited deeds, fictitious deeds and paperwork. It's all commercial. That they can have command of a military. Who is in these militaries? Me, my brother, my sister, my auntie, my uncles. It's the people. And sometimes, because of our love for the ideals that we have, when we look at other worlds that are not as fortunate as far as we can perceive, but may not even want to be like us over here. So I have to look at these things. I have to look and have the patience and say, hold on, don't judge. Because I'm not trying to sit here and say the country that I live in is all bad. I'll be telling the lie if I said that. There's greatness here. There is greatness in the people here. But there's mass confusion among the people too. And you know it's bad when people say they believe in God. Can't get along with each other. When we say God is good, God is great, He's merciful, why don't we show each other mercy? God is great. Why aren't we walking in greatness? Or my teacher, or where I come from. If those things are designed to help elevate you into greatness and help you get in contact with your humanity, that you can treat another human being and nature, meaning the animals and any life form, animated or inanimate, with the respect that it is due. Because I strongly believe that man and woman are the guardians of the planet. We're not built like any other animal outside of our physical traits. When it comes to intellect, we can be of more service in helping nature But it's been turned the other way around. We want to control nature to the point till we think that we can elevate to a point that we can be most high. We didn't call this into existence. And if we did, I don't really know. Because if we did and somebody can prove it, please bring it so I can understand it. But as far as I know, I got here through the agency of my mom and my dad, along with millions of other sperms that were swimming in the nutsack. And the one egg that I fought to get to. I'm the one that made it. The other billions didn't make it. I made it. You made it. So we're talking about friend and friendship. Who is a real friend today? That we got conditions on our friendship. We got conditions on our support of one another. Who is your real friend? This system hasn't been a friend to a lot of people for a long time. That's why I talk about the things that I talk about. So before you go to criticizing some man or some woman that's coming, instead of having the patience and really giving them the benefit of the doubt and letting truth unfold who they really are and what they bring to the table, if you can rush the judgment on them because of some emotional thing that you're going to, have that same type of energy for a construct that never gave a damn about you. A system that was built that never gave a damn about you. Have that same energy for that. How many times you going to crucify Jesus on the cross? How many times Muhammad going to have to fight? How many times Martin Luther King going to have to walk in the street and get beaten? And those that follow them and try to do the right things, how many times we going to let the enemy infiltrate the ranks and then bring this confusion to us? I can't be mad at those who architected these constructs. I should be more mad at myself when I allow myself, after the truth has come, to be subjected to these constructs. But I know I can do something different. I can create constructs within this construct. I can be in the world and not be of the world. You read your script every day and you don't know that's what it means. You don't have to participate in foolishness. It don't cost us a dime to do the right thing. And I'm talking about fiat money. You don't have to go pay somebody or get authority to do the right thing or think the right thing. The only price you will pay for doing the right thing is from those that don't want you to expose other people to it, because they don't want their power to be taken. They don't want the construct or the system to fall, because the construct, as long as it's up, those that participate in it at the levels that they do, and it's a corporate. You got to see this thing as a business. Congress people, those that's in our judicial systems, and or otherwise, managers and supervisors and workers for the corporate seal. Then you have the people, the servants, the subjects that after people have constructed businesses, whether they have a good or a service, because up under the system you can create businesses for it. You can take certain things here and package them. I can open up a store and sell goods that I'm going to get from the earth. I may have to do business with a farmer if I got meat in my store. I'm going to have to do something with some corporate structure. That's the way the construct was designed, and it's grown. And the more that it's grown, the greedier the people got, and the more you become greedy and lustful, and you want control, the more the masses are gonna suffer. I didn't have a say so on inflation. I didn't make the gas rise. Why the hell are you mad at me? I didn't make diesel go up to $6, $7 in some place, or gas rise. I didn't do that. Why are you mad at me? As far as your relationship is concerned, I wasn't the one that did what I did to you if I'm just meeting you. Somebody else did that up on the construct. I can only take responsibility for the people that I victimized up on the construct. And I can be in a position to either forgive those that have victimized me and tried to manipulate me that was up on the construct. I choose mercy. I choose forgiveness because mercy was shown to me. Forgiveness was extended to me. Second chance was given to me. So I try to give that. That's how I show my gratitude to truth. So before you start trying to judge that book, you better open it up. And before you think that you can sit down at the chessboard with a chess master, you better find out who that chess person is connected to. There's going to be a lot of losses and wins as we try to develop. I know this. I know this. We shouldn't have to keep taking L's just because, man. I want to be considerate. We should be considerate of each other. But if we can ever get to that place where we understand these ideals and influences from negative programming, how it affects us, if we could ever just get there, maybe we can open up real dialogue with one another. Maybe we can start seeing the good in one another. Maybe we can start looking at this earth the right way and want to become participators in the cultivation, not the robbing of it for greed. To somehow some this mine and I'm gonna put no trespass. You get caught on, you going to jail, or I got the right to kill you. If I'm hungry and the earth producing, let me eat. But it's hard to do that when somebody don't build up a force and got all these rules, and now as an individual, you're not gonna win against that. But you still can maintain your character. Just because they're doing it don't mean that you have to agree. I would encourage anybody to be a lawful citizen of the country in which they live. And in most cases, most of us not even citizens, but we documents were signed. We're wards of the state. So we enjoy privileges. That's why it's so easy to interchange these particular things. And that's why a certain segment of the people don't enjoy the same rights. They're not a part of the majority. You was never raised right, and you was never given the proper tools to be able to be given, right, the mechanics and the tools to go out and be a part of those who understand what this is. We don't know what this is. We break laws every day. We never been in one law book. I know I didn't. Even though I knew right from wrong, I knew doing what I was doing when I got caught up in those bank robberies. I knew if I got caught, there was a chance I was going to jail. I knew it, but I still did it. And why did I justify doing it? I had a son. I had a daughter. I was a young adolescent. I wasn't even considered grown. I was 19. And all the things I had done in baby steps along the way in being victimized upon the construct and gravitating to things that was not beneficial for me, right? Those things that really subdued my mind to where one time I thought I was invincible. No, they can't touch me. I can always elude them. Well, you can't elude a system that uses people for intelligence. You can't outrun the walkie-talkie or the helicopter. You can hide, but they will find you. That's the way it is. So how do you live within a construct and maintain a level of peace, or get to a place to where you can become active and utilize the skills and the gifts that you have, but above all, become a human being that you can give to other human beings their proper respects, not coveting what they have, not abusing or trying to interrupt the security or the peace of mind that they have. So when you find yourself judging somebody, ask yourself, are you perfect? When did you become perfect? Huh? And be honest. You holier than thou. You don't make mistakes. You don't err in judgment. You don't intentionally do things you know not right. Find me one. I don't care if it's man or woman. Find me one person that never tells a lie. or if put in a position that won't tell a lie. Find me one, if you know of one. We have so many people out here judging each other and calling people liars when they're the biggest damn liar. The one that's calling somebody a liar, you're the biggest liar. And you want to make yourself be something that you're not, as if you walking around as if your ish don't stink. Your doo-doo stink like everybody else's. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now, I'm not saying that some people are not strong in areas where others are weak, but we all have weaknesses. We all have flaws. And we all want to do things that will benefit what our ideas and perceptions are. For us, that's being selfish. And sometimes we might can justify that when we're giving a lot and people stepping on it. But again, to whom much is given, much is required. I'm not saying that you have to be a fool. You don't have to be a fool for somebody, but you do have to have the knowledge and the understanding and the wisdom to allow truth to guide you where you need to go and help you navigate, help me navigate. We can put our best foot forward. I strongly believe in that. I'm trying. Listen, I walked out that prison. I knew that I was going to have to come out here and put on the best performance of my life. Not that I'm trying to seek an Oscar award. Not that I'm out here trying to get Grammys for being an entertainer. And no, I'm not hating on those people that's in that crowd. That's what they do. I had to come out here and put on the best performance of my life. And I had to let truth help me get there so it would be authentic. For those that never been into a prison, though all of us are in a prison. We come into this world in a box and we leave here in a box. We give our life, our soul to things that are not in favor of us, that benefit us at all, and we hold on to it, but we can't even extend mercy to each other. We can't even come together for the greater good. But we watch the world crumble around us. We're liars and we're hypocrites. Somebody got to tell you to your face. And I'm going to be one of them. Because I look in the mirror every day. And I challenge myself every day. I don't put myself above nobody. I don't exclude myself from these conversations. I'm right in the thick of it with everybody else. So don't come to me with your false ideas and your false promises and your false friendship and your false support. If they're not here for real, damn it, do what you know you need to do and leave people alone. But if you want to grow and you want to elevate, and especially those of us who say that we're conscious, that we're the life coaches, we got the references and we can get you to the resources and whatever the case may be that we say we do. All it takes is the truth to expose you for who you are. All it takes is the truth to expose me for who I am. I'm willing to stand in the face of truth. Put it on me. I'm giving you honesty 100% right now. We all in the same boat. But we can do different things. We can adjust mentality. We can be true to each other. We can be authentic. We don't have to be out here at war with each other. Men hating men. We flying colors and you can't come on my turf. I can't come on your turf. He snitched on me. He did this. Construct got us out here where we in survival mode. I've been there. I'm in survival mode. I'm too proud to go to my family at a time before I caught my case because I had a son and I had a daughter. My son was with me. I was trying to get to know my daughter. It's a lot of stuff that come with that conversation. But I was a young man that was up under a lot of stress. I wanted to do the right thing. I had the best intentions, but I had the wrong plan. Pride leading to destruction. Your ego, these super egos based off influences, based off social constructs and ideas up under a system and government that teach you right is wrong and wrong is right. We're not living right out here. We're not. I know when I'm not living right. I can't lie to myself. We have people around here talking about some when you lie to yourself. How the hell can you lie to yourself? You can't lie to yourself. Yourself know when you telling the damn lie. And when those of us who submit to truth and allow truth to guide us, truth helps us see you for who you are, because truth makes us look at self. I know me. I know who you are. I've been knew who you were. Any person that comes into my life, I know who you are, because I know me. There's a lot of good in me, but there's a lot of bad too. And if I live in a world that connects to the bad in me, if I don't have the strength of mind because I don't have the truth or the courage to stand on it, I'm going to go with the influences from the negative aspect. And that's what many of us do. I don't care how you try to paint yourself. I don't do those things. I don't do those things. Yes, the hell you do. Yeah, you do. But you can do different. That's why the icon ain't going to judge you. I'm here to judge the programming, the negative programming. Hear me good. I'm not here to judge you, no more than you should be here to judge me. But if I speak negative programming, if I give you social construct from a system, and you can see that I'm trying to take advantage and I'm not willing to give, I'm not willing to stand on what I say, then you got every right to say, hey, man, I'm going after the construct, bro, in you, because you're not being real, icon. You're not being authentic, icon. It's a damn shame that you got the damn to not even tell people stuff because of the emotional state that they get into. I've been there. Trust me. It's a lot of truth people wanted to tell me at times, but they looked at how my emotional state was. So I'm just ain't gonna tell him, because he's gonna get mad. He's gonna get this. He's gonna get that. Some people look at my face. Look at right now. You probably think I'm mad. Oh, he's mad. Look how aggressive he is. Oh, he's yelling. I'm not mad. You may perceive this as mad, but this ain't mad. This love you see on my face. This dedication to what I'm saying. There's a whole lot of sacrifice and a whole lot of loss that you see on my face. Because I don't have to be here saying none of this. I can give up like a lot of people don't give up and say the hell with it and live a life of Riley and just manipulate people and go after their money, go after their properties. I can use women all day. I can use men all day. I have that type of knowledge to do that, but I refuse to do it. I'm saying, let's come up together. We can take the burden off of each other if we do it together. We don't have to accept the defeat of poverty. We don't have to accept the defeat of addictions, whether that's drug addiction, alcohol addiction, lustful for power addiction, self-importance. You know what I'm talking about. These addictions that we have. And we all have an addiction to something. So how dare you paint yourself in a picture or try to separate yourself to make yourself look like something that you're not. Accept what it is and say, man, I want to change. We shouldn't have no women out here, and I say this all the time, because when I tell you I'm an advocate for women, I mean that. I don't just say that just to be saying it because I want women to flock to me. They do that anyway. But I got to be responsible enough to say, hey, know where to draw that line at, bro. Because our sisters are subjected to this programming. And they out here by themselves and they fending for themselves and the children that are brought into this world. Well, fathers sometimes, I'm talking about those out for the construct that run from the responsibility. I wanted to be there for my children, but I had the wrong plan of action and I left them anyway. So I can't judge people. I'm not clean enough to judge, but damn it, I'm in a position where I've been given the authority to have these kind of conversations. So come for me if you want to come. Push that weak old porn out there. Come talk to your brother. We got people out here that's barely making it. Barely making it. And it's a reason why we barely making it. We do not understand how vital group operation and group cooperation is. We so caught up in our emotions, man, on physical stuff. Rise above the emotion into the thinking of the Most High. Come on, man. Come on, woman. You know I'm telling the truth. If I ain't telling the truth, come on and let me know I ain't telling the truth. I'm willing to have this conversation with anybody. I don't care what walk of life you come from. I don't care nothing about your wealth. I don't care nothing about your degrees. I don't care how many master degrees you have or bachelor degrees you have. We're going to deal on the premise of truth. Truth trumps all of that stuff we go into these institutions to get. You go get that information and retain information. And I applaud you for making the sacrifices to do something better or what you feel is better. But if what you getting is not designed to help the people, if it don't make you have an honest conversation and look at yourself in the right way, come on and sit to the table with your brother. Let's talk about it. Again, you ain't going to be fighting me. You're going to be fighting the truth. The same truth that I be trying to go to war with sometimes. And I know I can't win against the truth. I learned that lesson. I know my arm's too short to box with God, as y'all call it, or Allah, or Yahweh, or Jehovah. My arm's too short to box with the truth. I know I can't win against the damn truth. No matter how much I try to justify to do what I want to do. Yeah, I can be bold and courageous to do what I want to do against the truth, but in the end, the truth wins. So I ain't going to be no damn dummy for the rest of my life. I can't win against the truth. And I'm here to tell you, if you didn't know and if you think you can't win against the truth either. We look at the country that we live in, we think it's the most powerful. Man, we have no idea behind the scene how many people in these positions of authority that we put in authority, man, they killing themselves, they dying, they go in young. In a matter of a couple of years, they got gray hairs everywhere, look like they just age so fast. That's stress. When you live in a wrong world, when you live in a world that don't promote life, and you the architect, and you've been placed with the responsibility to call shots against humanity, against truth, and against life, you become old quick. When he, the spirit of truth, come, he gonna guide us into all truth. They say, he or she, because the truth comes through men and women. I heard what he said. This is a man's world. Yeah. Men did a lot of things in the construction of this world. But trust and believe, there was a woman right there too. The women have always been right there with the man. And I challenge that thought too. Who made men become the sole holders and authors of the power? You don't construct an idea through what you call religion or these stories. God, man, woman, children. The hell are you talking about? Come on. You think your arm's long enough to box with God? Come on, let's talk about it. What are you saying, Akon? What now you saying you're God? I recognize the truth. I'm striving hard every day to be in line with truth. I don't have to fight the battle. Truth will. All I gotta do is open up my mouth. And truth will swallow up falsehood every time. So it don't matter about your degrees. It don't matter about your wealth. Truth will expose the wealthy and those with the degrees and show you as you are. Because if you're not in tune with your humanity, and if you're not out here being a part of the solution, people will see you for what you really are. Now, what they choose to do with that information, I can't tell you that. That's up to the individual. Again, we're talking about a friend. You better know who your friends are. And you better understand this concept. A friend today may be your enemy tomorrow. The enemy today may be your friend tomorrow. It depends on quality of mind. It depends on circumstances. It depends on experiences. It depends on who can tap into their humanity. I've seen people that call themselves enemy become friends. I have friends like that. Guys I used to fight with all the time. I don't know what the hell we was fighting for, but we used to fight all the time as youngsters. As we were getting older, these same people turned around and we became, through whatever we was doing, whether we was doing wrong or we happened to be in what would be identified as the right places. We got over it. And some of these men and some of these women I can talk to today. They respect me and I respect them. We have history together. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I'm thankful that we didn't kill each other in that kind of foolishness, man. Like we're seeing our young people do today. And my heart go out to them because it's not their fault. No more than it's ours. We're not waking up. And unless there's an intervention in our life to do exactly what I'm trying to do here, people. Bring the conversation up and turn the spotlight where it's supposed to go. We have to expose this false narrative. We have to expose these systems that came out of the minds of men, and we have to give each other the equity that we need. And we need to know the roles that we need to play for the community to survive. We need to become more selfless than selfish. We need to do that. We need to know how to analyze and survey the land to know what we need. Yeah. We live in a world of plenty, but we live in a world that a few control the plenty. And the masses that could be benefiting from the plenty can't, because somebody else got to dictate to us in terms of a value system that's meaningless and that's not even real. It's an illusion. We got to work ourselves to death. We got to do all kinds of things. When we get in survival mode, we willing to rob, steal, kill, lie, whatever the case may be. Why? So we can access the goods that the earth produces. We can acquire the skill to make automobiles. We can acquire the skills to become doctors through the study of anatomy and different things that happen. Why a price tag got to be put on it? Why somebody got to control the price tag? Can you imagine the people that's sitting up in the IRS? Good people in there, but good people that got a job to go do, and some of them they know, hey, this it ain't right, but this is my job. That's how they justify it. This is my job. And I'm going to hold them to the fullest extent of the law. I don't care if they lost a job. If every dime ain't accounted for, you're going to hear from us. Sound like a friend to you? If people don't do what America says do, if you don't bow to the will of the country, we're going to come in and destroy you. We don't care nothing about your men, women, and children, though we telling people that we don't supposed to have human casualties, men, women, and children, but we don't trust it. The little boy had a bomb. Why is you over there in the first place? That sound like a friend to you? And when other countries do that to those of us that live up under the construct or the corporate structure called America, when you looking at people over here, oh, I don't like them. They boastful. Look how they do. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go in there and we're just going to cause havoc and blow stuff up. We're going to do this, that. We're going to infiltrate and create cells to take their people who disgruntled with their own government and utilize them to be human bombs or destructive. That sound like a friend to you? Come on, man. Who gonna talk to us about it? Who gonna have the strength to talk to us about it? Again, I'm not oblivious to the fact that my life can be snuffed out at any time. If those who hear me feel that I'm a threat to their construct, to those that feel that I may wake up the masses of the people, they can come for me anytime. I don't have no force field around me other than truth. That's all I got. And a love for the people. That's all I got. I don't have arms in here. I'm on probation. I can't be around guns. I don't have guns. And if a police came to my door right now, I'm not going to be belligerent, insolent. If he came to my door for whatever reason he came to my door, hopefully, because I ain't doing nothing for you to come to my door, but if you come, I'm not going to sit here and argue and do anything. I'm going to be civilized. Because the duty of the civilized is to free a slave. I'm here trying to free slaves. And my brothers and sisters that hear me, right? That's the duty of the civilized, to free a slave. We have many people that are captured. We got some of us, man, that we know, and we fighting to make sure that the slavery part of the mentality and the concept don't overtake us. And at times, sometimes it do. They call that backsliding. Even when you know, we still tend to backslide sometimes, because human beings are prone to errors and mistakes. We're not like any other creature on the planet. But just because you backslide don't mean that you can't slide back up. So no, I'm not sitting here trying to be like I'm untouchable. I didn't call myself into existence. I'm an extension of that which brought all of it into existence. I just carry on. I have seed in me. I plant seed. My counterpart, the better half, they produce for us so that we can keep the species going. We can keep the human guardians of the planet going. But somewhere we lost our way. In the story in the Bible, it talks about Adam and Eve and the fall of man. And there's a whole story constructed by how the woman is the downfall, because a serpent beguiled her and she ate of a tree that was forbidden. And I tell people all the time, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a man that looked at the story and said, man, something off with this. According to the script, I'm just saying. And I'm not going to get all religious on you, but there's certain things I have to look at that really dictate how we move in life. The woman wasn't our downfall. I don't believe that. The woman was not our downfall. The woman is not the devil. She can be devilish, just like the man. We can be devilish. But if I was to accept the story the way that it was written, right? I don't know Greek or Hebrew. I'm not going to learn it. But because I was taught English and because I was given English definitions, I look at the story from what I can understand based off what was impressed on my mind through the institutions of learning. And then this one thing about the truth, I got to say this before I even say what I'm going to say. The truth make you see things that you never learned. It gives you an understanding that surpass understanding. The truth help you look at a person and through their body language speak to you. Through their dress code speak to you. Through the rapid blinking of the eye. This is what the people that study this stuff do. They collect this data when they can bring people in to say, can you look at this person and tell whether or not they're lying? They don't have no machine, but they collect data. When certain pressures are put on people, the reaction, and they can come right in your midst just by understanding the origin and the essence of what that is and how naturally we tend to do things, right? When we've done something we know ain't right, we begin to act a certain way. Then you have characters that can fake it good. It depends on who has the skill to be able to see for real, right? But I'm saying all that to say this. It was not the woman's fault. According to that story, if anybody's going to be at blame, the man. Some people venture out and say God, or the God that was supposed to be there. He know he created the man and the woman. He know that they wasn't perfect because God knows all. Here come God walking in the cool of the day, calling out to Adam and the mate that God created for him. Mind you, these supposed to be the first two people on the planet according to the scripture. See, I see a lot of truth in there. I see a lot of symbolism too. There are things that could help us in this story, and there are things that was put in their design for the mind that's locked up and subjected to the false ideals that hold sway over it, that will confuse the hell out of them and make you take something on face value and then start putting the blame on the wrong people. And that's what will happen. It's a man's world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Brother James Brown, he said it best. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. It takes the two to continue on the species, the life, the human being. It takes the two. And I'm not being funny. Ain't no man gonna climb up on another man and make no babies. That's not gonna happen. Ron, are you trying to speak out against people with no, I'm not speaking out against your preference. I respect whatever it is you want to do. Don't get mad at the message. I'm just telling you how the species continues. That's it. Don't let it become an emotional thing to where you want to kill the messenger. But this man and this woman, God walking through the cool of the day, calling out for them. This man who, according to the story, the woman don't let a serpent. Now, we've been taught that a serpent in every phase of our life, when if they're talking about imagine dragons or snakes, they use the snake, cobra, anaconda, whatever the case may be. This is an animal that's in our nature that has every right to be here on this planet like we do. We just need to know and understand its habits and know how to identify when we're in a position where they can be a threat to us because they feel we're a threat to them. Okay. But a serpent beguiled this woman because word came down to the man, according to the script. Don't do thus, thus, and thus. And then the woman received instructions. So both of them, it appeared y'all knew what you wasn't supposed to do, but they got this little thing called curiosity. They don't supposed to know about this. Remember, they the only two people on the planet. So what made the woman become curious? Well, the serpent beguiled her. No, he misled her. He lied to her. Some may say he even seduced. He, always using these personal pronouns. He seduced her. He beguiled her. What he did, he tapped into her curiosity. This is how man would tell the story. To attack women, to subject her to a role of being a servant and a slave to man's desire. I peeped that. I didn't peep it at first, but when I started to elevate by the truth, elevate my country, I peeped this. In society, it's the same way. All right. Now, for the women that hear what I'm saying, I know you screaming for joy. You got it, Icon. That is the truth. But hold up. Hold up. You see, we are all endued or have been, put in a position where we can exercise intelligence and common sense. Right? Whether Adam was there or whether Adam failed in his responsibility, the instructions came to the woman too. So if the story is true, you had an opportunity to not, let the serpent give you something that you knew God said was forbidden. Or did you not have respect for God? Or you can get even deeper. They so innocent, they didn't know. Their eyes wasn't open. What you mean their eyes weren't open? They innocent. They didn't even know that they was naked. As soon as you say naked, you thinking about two people standing there with no clothes on in the physical. When it actually could mean they was devoid of certain information. And because of that, somebody came along that knew certain things, was able to penetrate the mind and raise the curiosity of. And like today, we all are confronted with certain things that we can make a choice on. We see red flags all the time. Sometimes we just walk past them because of some desire to have what we want. It happens. I've been there. I'm just being honest. But when I looked at that whole story, man, I'm like, the construct of this world that we live in, because when you read history, there was a time when those Caucasian women in this country who were not given the rights to be a part of the economic decisions. She was to be at home with the children. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Somebody got to be there for them children. You want somebody else to raise them that don't give a damn about them. If the mother birthed them, and she have a real connection to them, she's the best one to provide and tell and instruct. And if the man is doing what he's supposed to do, even up under the constraint, if he was living in the wild, he's a strength in the home. And it's not that the woman is weak, that she can't defend herself and fight, because we have some women that are vicious fighters and can protect. But when you got a structure and a unit like that, we're supposed to cover each other. It's called taking the burden off the other. If you by yourself and you got to fend for yourself, you got to do what you have to do, right? But if you're there together, you can take some of the burden off, make ease for each other. But in this story, when I look at society, man conveniently put himself in a position where he answered to God, his woman answered to him, and the children answered to them. I had a problem with that. I said, I'm not here to control women or be their God. I'm a guard over them in the role that I have to play because of my connection to her, the natural connection to her, or women. There's not a woman out here that I don't supposed to give. I don't have to sleep with them all, but I'm supposed to give her cover. I'm not supposed to take scripture and make a slave out of her, but I'm supposed to be a strength. Not to tell her what she want to hear, because construct don't gave her ideas of value that in most cases is something that came out of their vain imagination. When you come into the truth and the truth leads you ways you're supposed to go, you're supposed to be a covering for her. Her nature demands that from us as men. Just as our natures demand something of her. Who the hell came and said that I have to just take one woman and just be and cover her and don't give a damn about the rest of them? Sister, you're correct. I don't supposed to sleep with them all. But can't you see how construct don't broke us down so bad to where we having conversations and arguments that we call controversial? That we've been depleted so bad, you still stuck on this idea that come from somebody else. You would want another woman to suffer, have no covering out here. I'm with you to a point. As men, if we don't understand what the hell we're doing, you shouldn't be around them. Because women are not to be played with at all. I know that. I learned it. I had to. I'm more of an advocate for women than some women who say they're advocates for women. Come to the table, sister, and talk to your brother. Not to go to war and be mad at me. But again, getting back to my point, some women in this country had to start a movement, the feminist movement, where we have some women taking it on, right? You didn't suffer at the hands of what them women suffered. It's like me saying I suffered the same thing as a slave that was actually chained up and beaten and torn apart and burnt. We do have people that's out here that's trying to recreate that or keep it going. I can't speak from that pain, but I'm the product of that pain. I can speak from that particular vantage point. So wherever I see an injustice, of course, I'm going to feel some kind of way about it because I know that injustice came from a construct. Come on, people. Work with me, not against me. So these Caucasian women who were not given the opportunities, who wanted the opportunities to be involved, living in a man-made world that was shutting them off, that relegated them because they didn't have access to the natural resource. Because of his system, it gonna take the numerical value. He held the jobs. He the one that said who was gonna get what. So they had to fight their way into that. And who they brought along? Black women, y'all need to come and join. The women of color around the world, come and join. These men have done la 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 la. Man, the black woman been working. Ain't nobody tell her to go sit in the corner and don't do nothing. From the time they pulled her off a slave ship and separated from her own seed if she had children, separated from her man if she had a man. They brought her here to put her to work. So she always had a hand in the work, though she was not given opportunity to have an influence on economics and how it was going to be spread about. We wanted to keep our families together and they was torn apart. I'm talking about our ancestors who were slaves. And I'm not making this a racial thing. I just want to point some truth out about a construct. When you talk about friends, who your friends are and who really supports you. We got some men and women today from our Caucasian family who are positions of power that want to right some of this wrong. They do. It's a lot of wrong in the world. And those of us who are the product or the byproduct of our ancestors who were enslaved and treated that way, we do have a responsibility. Forgiveness can be had, but forgiveness is predicated on those who hold control of the construct. You have to do the right thing. So no, again, the woman is not the downfall for us, it's ignorance. It was those who see the opportunity to manipulate a situation through lies and tricks that came up with a system. I was in prison. I mean, I remember I used to collect books that people would throw in the garbage. Like, why throw a book in the garbage? I had a book called The Fall of the Third Reich before. It had a big old black swastika on it. And guys used to see me walking around the compound with it. What you doing with that? They seen the swastika. They heard the stories about Germany. They heard the stories about Hitler and all that stuff. So in their mind imprinted, right, because of the stories that they heard and the visuals that they seen with the atrocities through war and through murder and wanting to create a superior race. We sitting back, we really don't know. I mean, people just telling us stuff. We don't know the ins and outs of it. All we know is we seen something that looked very deplorable because a segment of our human family was done a certain way in that reign of what they call terror. And of course, naturally, if we are in touch with certain parts of our humanity that when we see certain things happen, they do affect us. But we have to be careful how other people try to paint pictures in our mind to get us into those emotions and feelings, because half the time we don't have the information. We don't know what was going on in the back rooms and the closed rooms. We don't know. But it's safe to say if we see somebody get taken advantage of, especially those of us who people were taken advantage of and who do not have equity in this society, a lot of the time that we had to fight. Our ancestors had to fight. And those of us who use, what we've been given to keep things going, if you will. It's a lot that come with it. What are you trying to say, Icon? We have to stop putting the blame on each other. We have to stop letting the construct tell us how to look at this world. It never treated us right. How the hell are they going to teach us right? I know I may sound cliche, you heard it. I'm not reinventing anything. I'm just being a reminder. Somebody got to remind us. Everybody ain't here to trick you. Everybody's not here to get you in a place where you can't thrive. That's what this world, these constructs have done. They set up a system even from a religious standpoint to where they relegate people and they put you in a particular class. And then it makes some of them feel that they're superior and other ones are less. Come on. Does that sound like a friend to you? Sound like somebody selfish to me. Can I be mad at them for being selfish? That's what they saw. A world for them. They pushed the idea. Some people that those ideas had to be forced on. And once you instituted it and it get root, now your system is up. Now your government is up. Now your institutions are up. Now you have the people in places to push the agendas and push the ideas of your corporate seal, your mission statement. Now, when people are born into this world, they're born into sin and shaped by the iniquity of it that called it into existence in the first place. Can't we see that? But you'll get mad at me. But you won't get mad at a system and get mad at the constructs that separate human beings from reality and truth, but would replace it with falsehood and lies. And then when we meet each other, we meet each other both subjected to lies and false ideals, and we trying to argue who is right and who is wrong. That don't make no damn sense to me, man. That don't make no sense to me. Do it make sense to you? Because if that makes sense to you, please step up so we can know who you are. We need to know who you are. You a danger. You dangerous. I was dangerous like that. Because that kind of thinking made me go against humanity. Now I'm a different type of dangerous. Not that I'm dangerous, but to those that don't want me to talk like this here and expose some of these things, I'm a danger to them. Not that I'm a danger, because I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not saying something, I'm not making up anything. It's here. We're looking at this stuff in real time. Man, this little thing right here, this little handheld computer that you can go in and go into the search engines and all kinds of things, you know, you can go in here. Let me show you something. This is what everyone created, because it had to come about. Believe it or not, the truth is in control, even when those that look like they in control that we know not our friends. See, the truth, you know, man plan, the devil plan, God plan trumps all, right? Yeah, the truth. The truth got a way of correcting things, right? Let me show you. Okay. I can go into here and I can type up some. Did I type that right? Let me go back. I just want to type something in here. Okay. I can type a word in the, I don't know if you can see it or not. You probably can't see it. But I can type a word in here. No, you can't see it because of the light. Let me see if I can bring the light down. This technology is something. You can go in and type a word in the what they call the search engine. Things moving at the speed of light and get information. Now, I know all information that we get, we have to take it with a grain of salt, because people, depending on what their agendas are, they can use things to mislead us and misguide us. It can happen. I mean, it happens all the time, right? Sometimes it's us, the orchestrators of this madness, and sometimes people are orchestrating this madness on us. But we can go into these little smartphones that have been created, the gift and the curse. If you're not using it responsibly, you're gonna go into some rabbit holes that gonna take you some places where a lot of things can happen. I go on social media all the time. In my natural animal state. If I see a woman out there and she has a voluptuous body, the animal in me, the natural in me, the that you don't have control. Oh, that's because I'm a natural man. I incline towards that type of stuff in the physical. But I have to be reminded I'm more than the flesh, is weak. The spirit is strong. So let the spirit take over the flesh. I haven't always been able to do that. But the more I grow, I get to a point where I'm tired of seeing, my sisters undressed the way that they are, or they feel that this is what it's going to take to pull them out of form of poverty, or even if they're not in poverty, that this would give them a better access to a life. And I'm not judging my sisters. This is what they feel they have to do, because nobody's out here really trying to gravitate towards them and show them what group operation is and group cooperation, that we can do these same things you trying to do if we was more together. Or the men that sit out here and make our sisters think that's what we really want, knowing damn well you don't want the one that gonna be called the hoe. Not that she's that, or the freak, because you can mutt her because she out here talking about some slut me out and mutt me out. I mean, really, we don't want that. It's a fantasy. You really want the one that gonna stay home and be nice and understand what her role is, and you're gonna give her the respect to exercise the intelligence God put in her. You want that one. You want to be able to walk outside and walk anywhere, right? But in this world, it's you rarely can see that. Because these constructs have made many dogs and hoes out of all of us. I've been the dog in the hole. I confess that. Not afraid to say it. I've been a lot of things up under the construct, man. Yes. Yes. These ideas, they dangerous when they're pervasive in the mind, when they're prevalent in the mind. And this is what we draw from that put us in motion. And you want to hold on to these ideas. Who your friend? Because from what I can hear, I sound more of a friend to you than these things and these ideas that you hold on to that don't subdue us all and caused us all to be out of character. So who is your real friend? Who are the real supporters? Come on. Our downfall ain't because of women, and our downfall ain't because of man. Our downfall is because of construct from certain men. You can't put all that on every man. But what we can do is when men come into contact with the truth and he's unwilling to hear it, make the adjustment and stand on the truth, then I can say, hey, man, why? I mean, you got the right to cower down. You got the right to run. But why? Why? Sister, same thing. These constructs may have made a hoe out of you or tried or got you thinking that pussy power is what it is. I mean, we say these things. It's all on YouTube, all over social media. And I'm not judging my sisters. You in survival mode in a world that was created, a construct, a system by men who wanted to play God. I understand. All I'm saying is there are other solutions to this problem that we have. You're supposed to have the best, not best because they said it's the best, meaning the owners of these products. I don't have a problem with Gucci and them doing what they were supposed to do. We're in a capitalist society. They took advantage of what we call business. Somebody created something. They put the little G's together, and then it's a brand. And the brand it started somewhere. Gucci wasn't nothing. Gucci was not nothing more than some fabric that you can go get. And you can find this fabric yourself. If you knew how to make a hat or make a belt or make a purse or make a clothing, you can design something for yourself, being creative. But this world don't teach us how to be creative. They want to stunt your creativity. A person that has a creative mind is hard to rule sometimes. So they have to find ways to subdue the creative mind because we don't need you to be creative. We need you to be cooperative to the construct. We need you to be a slave to our ideas. And don't think that I'm here, man, you talking about the white man. You know how many white people that's suffering from this construct? Let me tell you about equity, my friend. Let me tell you about equity. These constructs don't give a damn what these constructed titles or colors. They don't care nothing about that. You got white men out here fighting hard for their families, as they should. You got black men out here fighting hard for their families, as they should. You got Hispanic men out here fighting hard for their families, as they should. You got Asian men out here fighting hard for their families, as they should. You got Indian, I'm talking about those from India, as it is called, this construct, that's fighting hard for their families, as they should. We have the Native American, or what they call the Native American, our indigenous brothers, fighting hard for their family, as they should. But in each one of those, look at them titles: white, black, brown, yellow, red. I mean, look at these constructs. It ain't just human being, but because the construct is here, because the system is here, I'm just saying, the construct don't give a care about what your assigned title is in reference of your color. If you're not in line with their ideas and their principles, the architects of it and the holders, those who maintain the power, a lot of the time that we vote into office or that we go and buy their products or take their services. As long as we're participating, they all good, but they don't never really give anything. Or we do this for charity. You do it for a tax write-off. It's a loophole. I understand. Well, get yourself a business run. You are right up under the construct. But in all of that, I still shouldn't lose contact with humanity where I can treat some people right. You got some wealthy people, they get caught all up and they put them on the news. You got your money don't got you an island. You bringing little children according to your laws. Pedophilia go on. You're kidnapping people. You're taking body parts and you're settling. You're murdering and you're taking off on the. Come on, man. Does this sound like a friend to you? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I got to get ready to shut this down. I've been going at it for a while. But I get fired up sometimes. And sometimes it comes from frustration, and sometimes it's just the spirit move you to come do it. And again, I'm gonna share this with people. I'm not telling us to go against each other. I'm not telling us to get mad and just go out there and go to rioting against the government. But what I am saying, look at the different options. We live in a capitalistic society. This fiat that we call money, or the ideal of that we value so much, you work for it, hold on to it. Ain't nobody forcing us to go into their stores when you can identify those that don't care about the people. Nobody telling you to go in the voting booth to vote for somebody that have a history of doing things against humanity. Nobody's telling those of us that's out here not to run. I know when you get into that political field, despite your best efforts, it can turn you into something different. It happens. It's just like those that go into law enforcement. You had the right mentality to protect and serve the people, but once you get there, you get a whole nother set of rules and regulations behind the scene that the people in society that's supposed to be your object to protect, it turns into something different. You become a part of a gang structure, then you come out here and you got a problem with those who say that they're in a gang. Does that sound like a friend to you? That despite your best efforts and intentions to do something right, they turn you into something else. And even if you don't participate in the outright murder of people, you will stand by and watch. And that me as a quote unquote citizen will do the same. That I will stand by and watch and not say nothing when I see my brothers and sisters killing each other, taking advantage of our women. And then knowing I've been a part of that stuff, but I've elevated up out of. Now I'm supposed to just sit here and be quiet now that I'm in a good space? No, I'm risking a lot right now just talking about this stuff. I know this is a declaration of war to speak the truth, irregardless of the circumstances, even if it's against myself. Come on, man. Come on, man. Foreign Wheezy, you out there listening? 100 strong. I need to get some people in this place. I'm about to get ready to bring this down. I had to say what I had to say. I'm speaking in generalities. If I said anything of the truth, know that it comes from on high. And if I said anything that was wrong or offensive, if I made an error or a mistake, know that I'm your brother and I'm human. Any error or any mistake, that's pretty based off my lack of understanding of something, perhaps. Maybe I misspoke in my speaking, and I do apologize for that. I want life, not just for myself, but for others. I want there to be the type of equity amongst us that we can work with each other. I want us to be able to get outside the box. That's why we have the programming. I want us to know that we don't have to be in competition, but that we should always be sitting at the round table, right? And looking and assessing the problems that we have and using the solutions already on the table that's meant for our good. By whatever way we can come to the conclusion of what that is, let's do that. But one thing we do need to pay attention to is how disunified we are. We are disunified, and that's a fact when it comes to doing something for the collective. But we unified in something, and we unified in foolishness 100%. You can look at the world and tell we unified in foolishness. 100%. We unified in murdering each other. We unified in gossiping against each other. We unified in our hypocrisy. We unified in all the things that this construct bring down the line for us to be unified in. That's not for our benefit, but for the benefit of the holders of the legacy and the inheritance that they got. That's not even real. That give them access to the natural resources. That have families that call the shot over all the people in the world. And we all participating in it. If I'm a liar, come tell it to my face. I'm your brother. I can stand a straightening. I ain't gonna get mad if you come to correct me. I'm gonna humble myself. And if you can correct me, if you can tell me that show me where I lied, I'll listen. And if you can show me the truth and I can recognize it to be the truth, I'll make the adjustment. I will make the adjustment. We talking about a real friend. We talking about a real supporter. Right. I had to learn what that was. And I lost a lot to learn these lessons. You've lost a lot to learn the lessons that you have. But sometimes we lack the courage to put in practice because some kind of way we think we're going to lose. We think the construct and these ideas going to save us because we can accomplish some things. You think because you can roll up in a Bentley now because you was living in the project that you can use your own people. I've done it, so you know I ain't judging you. That we can sell drugs to our people. Well, hell, we got to survive too. Survival come through us coming together and saving our dollars, just like our Jewish family. They self-sufficient in a lot of ways. And I ain't saying that there are people in our Jewish family that don't suffer. They do. But you have to tilt your hat and acknowledge the fact that they know how to come together because they understand group operation and group cooperation. If there's a problem within their community, they have the type of structure where they get together and they resolve problems. They money circulate in their community 100%, according to statistics. That's a beautiful model to have. I ain't saying have it then you exclude other people. I ain't saying have knowledge and then don't share it with people. If you want to see a world that's vibrating, where peace can be had between people, if you know something that can help people, give it. Don't charge them for it. Well, we always got to charge people for information. Oh, they ain't going to accept it as real unless you put a price on it. I mean, just give it. It's up to them to do what they want to do with it. Even though it will be in their best interest to take something from a positive perspective and the positive programming and utilize it in that way to help each other, not hurt and harm each other. But yeah, that's what's going on. We have many examples of different things. We have Chinatown. We have our Asian brothers and sisters. I'm not going to sit here and say that a lot of them ain't suffering or why they was brought over here. All I know is this here, they stick together. Those who do, be in the position to call shots. If there's a problem among them, I bet you people are going to come together and resolve it. And I bet you whoever's in the wrong, right, or somebody go up against the force, they're going to handle it. You don't just get to walk up in there and do what you want to do with our Asian brothers and sisters. Some defect and come over and they go out in the broad and stuff. And they may be looked at a certain way by their own people. This is the detriment of these constructs, that we doing this to each other. Yeah, we doing these type of things to each other. But what else can you do if you don't know nothing else? You're going to do what the influence or the construct or the system or the information or the education tells you to do. It's no different than a program of creating these codes and these applications and inputting data. That's what all this technology is about. Programming the computer, inputting it with certain things, and then we get an output that we can use to do certain things. Somebody put the information in there. You think you different? You better look at this thing again. We got all kind of stuff that's been programmed into us, and all of it ain't good. Instinctively, we know, but that's nature. But what make us override nature and then do what somebody programmed us to do? Come on, you better think about this stuff. I ain't no Rudy Tube brother out here. I had some wise teachers, man, and experience is the best one. And I had some people to help me understand these experiences. Yeah. Well, I gotta go. It's been 2 hours and 4 minutes and counting. It's 11:42 in the AM. I've been here. We've been talking. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I didn't intend to offend anybody with anything that I said wrong. But if I offended you with the truth, deal with it. Find a way to rise above that emotion into the thinking of the Most High, and then you'll thank me later. And if you spoke a truth to me, I gotta deal with it or rise above my emotions into the thinking of the Most High, and I'll be okay, right? I mean, it's not as complicated as we make it. Construct make it complicated. Nature gives us the solution. Which one you gonna listen to? It's like somebody telling you, "I slap you in your face." You gonna believe your own pain, or you gonna believe me? What you mean? You just slapped me in my face. I didn't slap you in your face. What? That'll be insane for somebody to tell you that. They come and just slap you in your face and then say, I didn't do that. And here it is, you feeling the sting of the slap. You looking at them, and they say, you going to believe your own feelings, your own pain, and your own eyes? Or you going to believe me? I said I didn't do it. That's a hell of a thing to try to convince yourself that they right when you know that they wrong. My God. That's how bad it is, people. It's that bad. It's that bad. I'm just being honest as I can get it, as honest as I can get it to you. You know, again, I don't know everything. I ain't pretending to be the dude that know it all, and I can't fail. I can't do wrong. That'll be a lie, and I'm telling you the truth. That would be a lie. Yeah, I've laid it out for you. And I'll be back. I'll be coming back to do more things and talk about more things and connect with more people. Again, you can follow me on www.theicon6.com. That is T as in Tom, THEICON, the number 6.com. Or you can go on Salty Coffee Podcast. That's www.saltycoffeepodcast.com and look at the work that is being done, some of the things that we're trying to do or have done, and as we grow, continuing to push the envelope, that we can get the message out and that we can connect with people in a real way, and work through some of these things that we have going on that causes us to be divided one from amongst the other. And let's really take this thing serious. This is a serious matter. It's not to be taken for granted. But if you do know that whatever your decision and choice is, if it's not lined up with truth and you're in rebellion to the truth, there's a consequence to that. And even if you were to get punished for standing on truth, at least you did the right thing because it was the right thing to do. I'm your boy, The Icon. I'm up out of here. Again, go to the website. You can find all the links on there. That'll link you to my Instagram. That'll link you right here to Facebook. That will link you to the business pages, Facebook and Instagram. That'll link you to my podcast, which is called Icon World by Ronald Smith. The links are in there. Go in and see what's going on. The website was put together by Salty Coffee. That's that queen. You can go in there. You can do all of those things, and you can find out what we're doing, what we got going on. I'm here in Florida. There's a section in there that have references to different things that the resources that's here in Jacksonville. On her site, she have things for New York. And if we connect again, you can subscribe. It's for free. It don't cost you a dime to subscribe and share. That's one of the things that I want to compel us all to do. If you know that I've spoken the truth today, if you know that it is good, not only for you, but for our people, man, share this information. Let people know, man, subscribe. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe. Neither one of those websites. You go to Salty Coffee podcasting.com over there. It don't cost you nothing to subscribe and to see what she has to offer in her advocacy for women. It don't cost you a dime to subscribe to my website. Come on in, brothers. I'm trying to create, by permission of the Most High and the truth, a lane where we as men can talk and not talk from the position of trying to be the most dominant, or trying to be the one that just fall into this false idea of these construct that was given down. We want to be in a place, man, that we can stand and be heard and communicate with one another. Our sisters are they moving. These women, they doing what they have to do, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. What's wrong with us as men? We're gonna continue to let them tell us we can't be expressive, we can't talk about our feelings, we can't. I'm gonna talk about mine. It don't make me lesser than a man. It don't make me weak, it makes me strong. I'd rather for you to know how I feel than to sit there and pretend. I have a better chance at hopefully you doing the right thing because I'm gonna tell you what it is I feel. And if I'm wrong in my feeling, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to give me some clarity if you feel like doing that. And if you really a friend, you would do that. If you really support the icon, you would do that. That's all I'm saying. These are things that we have to do for one another. So I'm up out of this piece to next time. I'm gonna hit it. I got some other things I need to get into. It's been a pleasure and honor to be here. Again, I wish you safe travels if you're out there traveling. I wish number of peace and blessings and success over you and your family. Again, share this information and go in and subscribe, man. That's all I can say. Hit the like button if you like what you heard, and let's boost it up. Subscribe to me right here on YouTube. I want to get these numbers up. I want to get them up. So I want to talk to more people, whether you agree with what I'm saying or not. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you disagree with what I'm saying, come the right way and the correct way, and your brother will talk to you. I'm not going to try to get into some type of thing where we trying to crush each other, but present your facts. I'll present my facts, and hopefully we can dialogue and come to some kind of understanding. And maybe in that process, we can learn where we can work with each other or support things that the other is doing. I mean, it don't have to be complicated. I think we can do it. I think those of us that understand that we're going to do it. So with that being said, this time for real, I'm going, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Till next time, I am the Icon 6. Peace.